this time next week, you'll be able to grab a bite to eat at your favorite Cincinnati restaurant as long as they offer outside seating, or grab a drink at a bar. But of course, things will be different. Take Revel, for example. The bartenders at the OTR Wine Bar will be wearing a mask and taking orders from people at tables. Those tables will also be 6 feet apart and will have guidelines on them to make sure that people remain distanced.
You know, just one of our employees just came in, she just left, picked up some wine, and the first thing she said was like, are we going to have to police everyone? Like, how's that work? And we're like, maybe.
Here are some of the other businesses coming back soon. Salons, spas, and barbershops can open next week in Ohio. You'll have to wait another week in Kentucky. But if you've been craving the gym or a movie with some theater popcorn, you'll be able to do that in the Commonwealth come June 1st. There's no date for that yet in Ohio. And while many places are starting to reopen, state leaders caution that a rise in coronavirus cases is likely to follow.
This is a new playbook. We've never been here before in modern times. And, you know, we have to learn to live with this virus. But we have to do this because there really is no way, as we can see, to sort of stop all life.
And that brings us to our front page centerpiece this week, Life After the Crisis, how to revive retail. Well, there's no way to spin it. Retail, of course, has just been hammered. Now, as restrictions are being lifted, there's a fearful, less liquid consumer base. And businesses have to prove to shoppers that what they can buy and experience at a physical location is simply better than shopping online. That's what keeps a place like Artichoke going. Sales are down 50% at the curated cookware store in Findlay Market, but they have faithful customers.
We spend a lot of time with our customers, and so we build relationships. We have people who come in just to visit sometimes, but more often than not, during this time period, they've been calling in. And a number of times I've had people tell me, I know I could buy this online, but I'd rather buy it from you.
And experts say the key to retailers getting back on their feet is showing it's safe to shop in their stores. And that's where Courier reporter Tom Demaropoulos comes in. He wrote this week's cover story, and he joins us live now via Skype. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Kyla. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you, and we're so excited to have you with us today to really dive more into this story. What are some of the practices that we'll see in place once those retail stores do start to reopen?
Yeah, Kyla, I think the most important thing is that retailers are going to want to make sure that people feel safe. That's going to be the number one priority. And you'll see things ranging from, retailers offering masks when people walk in the door, hand sanitizer. They're going to be really making sure that people maintain their social distancing, so keeping 6 feet apart, putting in barriers where they need to, plexiglass to have dividers, just everything to really put the consumer's mind at ease that this is a safe place to go, this is a safe place to shop.
And we referenced Artichoke. You spoke to the owners there. So when it comes to smaller businesses, like many of our mom and pop stores, what unique obstacles do they face compared to the larger retail stores?
So, Kelly, really, I think what's happening with this epidemic, with this pandemic, is you're seeing not necessarily troubles between big and small retailers. It's more about the good and bad operators. This is really going to separate those two. So even if you're a small business, if you're a good operator and you've got a good, strong customer base, you've got a better chance of getting through this. We've seen some of the nation's largest clothing retailers have filed for bankruptcy already, with J. Crew and others moving in that direction. So it's more about, do you have a dedicated following? Do you have a good brand? Can you get through this on those kind of merits?
I think that's an excellent perspective. You're right. It's more about the service and the loyalty and how you're serving your customers. Well, one entity that hasn't been discussed much is the bigger gaming spaces where people might find bowling and miniature golf and arcades. What's the forecast like for those businesses?
The retail experts I talked to say it's going to be tough for them, especially coming out of this initially. A big part of those operations is going to be how to figure out how to clean that space. If you have a group of 6 people come in and they bowl, do you clean every ball? Do you clean the seats? Do you clean the lanes? And that increased cost that those operators are going to have is going to be very large if they're cleaning that often for spaces that large. So this could be a tough, a tough transition for them as we have things opening back up, but we're not quite to what we were before the coronavirus.
And is there still concern that online shopping could reign supreme even once those stores open back up?
Yes, so what's definitely happening with this is you're seeing an increased speed of adoption. You know, people who may not have wanted to shop online in the past were kind of forced to. So they've really had to figure out how to be savvy online shoppers. And once you start doing something, you're more likely, if it's an easy and good experience, you're more likely to do it again. So this could be a problem that retailers face going forward, is that more people have been exposed to online shopping. They're going to continue to do it because it was easy. Amazon makes it pretty easy to click and have something on your doorstep pretty soon. So that will be a battle that retailers will continue to fight.
And of course, we'll be keeping an eye on that battle and on your story as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Tom. We'll keep an eye on that centerpiece.
Great. Thank you so much.